Okay, sit back, folks. We have an update from the title tags that we talked about last week. So in case you missed it, A, how dare you? And B, there was way more funk than usual for the titles in the search engine results pages. They're just super funky since this change that we saw happen last week. And Lily Ray's been leading the way on this. And she notes that she saw way more volatility than usual, with lots of strange examples, including last week we talked about it, hero image alt tags showing up as the web title, which is what Google has, that blue clickable link there, a bunch of H1s pulling, and then a bunch of just bad examples all around. And so it got even worse since we stopped recording last week, because one of the most egregious examples came from Mark Williams Cook at the Taffer Boy on Twitter. And he writes, "Great job with that title rewrite for the POTUS, Google." And the search was for Joe Biden. And the new improved title tag reads, "Vice President Joe Biden dash the White House."
Yikes. What is going on?
And that's for the president. And so then Lily found a few other examples, and the search was specifically for Beyonce. And the example of the title drops the word Beyonce from the title tag and instead reads, "Becomes first black woman to wear iconic Tiffany diamond." Completely drops Queen Bey right off of the title.
Honestly, talk about how dare you.
I don't know which one's worse. Anyway, you don't want the Bayhive after you.
No.
Right? Okay. So anyway, it was a whole mess. There was a bunch of other examples. There were some that were fairly egregious too, from maybe a health standpoint, where there was an example from Jenny Hearn looking for flu, just information on the flu. And it was a page about the flu, but the title tag jumped and just shows flu vaccinations. If you're looking for the flu, you're probably not looking for a vaccination. You're probably trying to figure out what to do. And so maybe you're missing this, which was from an actual official site, I believe, the NHS. So a lot of really strange examples showing with the web titles there. And so Lily went out and, again, showcased all this information to the public, and everybody just, not everybody, but SEOs were just straight SEOing, and they're like, "Not new. This is not new. This has been around since 2008, 2010, 2013. This isn't new. Google can rewrite this." And Lily, bless her soul, was just like, "I know. Here's an article I wrote in 2013.
Love that.
And so on and so forth. But it was pretty crazy because she's just trying to help, and then all these SEOs are all over. And she ended up, and I saw one person even agreeing with Google pulling the vice president for Biden. And there was somebody that said, "I'm kind of with Google here. The content is not very helpfully structured to infer that he is actually president now and no longer vice president or senator from Delaware." And Lily responds and says, "It literally says Joe Biden, the president, in the title tag. The title tag has existed for 20 years for this very purpose. It shouldn't be complicated." And I'm Team Lily. We're a Lily Stan podcast here.
Yes.
And Lily went out and put out a funny meme as well and says, "A good summary of SEO Twitter this week. Thanks to the meme magician Izzy on Fire." And there's a picture of a bird saying, "Here's a SERP update that's quite interesting." And then there's a big, "That's not new" behind it. And it's a big raven saying, "It's always been like this. That's not new." And it's like, that's the SEO community.
Can everyone relax?
I know, this poor little bird's face.
Okay, so I've got an update on this here, but a quick PSA to all you SEOs. Team Paid wants you. You know search engines. We want you. If you want to remove yourself from the abuse of the SEO community, come to Team Paid. I feel like PPC chat is so helpful.
Yes.
Like there's only a few people that are negative Nancy's.
Yeah, I've only been mansplained like a handful of times.
Okay, well, I guess it's everywhere then.
No, it is better on PPC chat for sure. So much better.
Okay. So then Google came out and put out a new blog post saying how titles are generated. And they talked about an update. So yes, it was newer. And they talked about the fact that 80% of all the web titles shown in the search results pages come from the title tag. and that they've gone beyond HTML text to create titles. For over a decade, our new system is making even more use of such text. In particular, we are making use of text that humans can visually see when they arrive at a web page. We consider the main visual title or headline shown on the page content that site owners often place within H1 tags within other header tags, which is made a large and prominent throughout the use of style treatments. So then Lily responded, so what you're saying is ... the title tag change is new.
Justice for Lily.
Mic drop. Yeah.
And Danny went on and confirmed that it is a new change. So this change overall, I don't have a problem with this change in Google adding more if there's a way to opt out of this, right? If arguably the two most important people on the globe, or at least in America, let's say,
Beyonce and Joe Biden.
If their title tags can get messed up through this enhancement, like imagine the little folks out there. Like that's going to be a problem. And somebody said it best back in 2013. Danny Sullivan over at Search Engine Land when he was writing for the site that he founded. And he wrote, still, Google makes mistakes. That's one reason I wish for years that Google would let site owners have something like a, yes, I'm really sure I want you to use my title tag that would let publishers encountering this type of problem finally solve it. Yeah, let us get out of it. If there's a problem, Google, you need support or you need an option to fix this. And that's a simple ask, and Danny actually agrees with it, which is the crazy thing. So Danny said this week, he said, that said, I'd love to see a mechanism for site owners to very selectively indicate if there are problematic titles. Like perhaps in Search Console, you could say you really want an HTML title tag used rather than an automatic choice. My thought is that we could perhaps allow a set number per site, maybe 5 or 10, also with an expiration period. That way people wouldn't make whole-scale long-term mistakes accidentally. And I agree with that. Great. That's what we need. And even another step up, you all are sportsters. It should be like the challenge rule in NFL.
Oh, for sure.
Right?
Yeah.
You know
Love that rule.
Yeah, throw a yellow flag or whatever.
Like if you do a review on the challenge and your challenge is upheld, you get to keep that challenge and you can do it again. So like if you go out there and you're like, oh, I'm the White House and Joe Biden isn't the vice president anymore, can you change it? Then you still get to keep what you came in with the challenge with. So that's my little addition there. But the other kind of heavy side of this is, if you think about it, there's no more do no evil, right? Like that slogan is way gone. And if you are an SEO trying to optimize in organic, you're competing against all the stuff that Rand wrote about back in the day, the zero-click searches and all the Google properties and everything like that. You're competing against Google, and you're competing against Google ads as well. And it's not like you can go out there and be like, oh, I don't want you bidding on my name. I don't want you bidding on, this term. So you're running ads and then you're changing the title tag and you can't figure out ways to opt out of it. When in reality, whether you like it or not, you are competing with Google. Mm-hmm. Google ads, Google hotel bookings, Google flights, Google local, my business. You're competing against Google, and then Google is changing things. And it would be great to have those rose-colored glasses on to say, oh, Google's going to do the right thing. We've seen time and time again, Google getting it wrong, and getting it wrong for the president, and getting it wrong for Queen Bey. So I think there has to be an opt-out for this. And we really, we should demand that.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just, it's crazy when you think about it. Like, your competitors can buy your name and whatever title tag can be pulled in for your organic listing. It's just, you would think that somebody has the common sense to enact this rule.
Right. And I would
proactively.
think, you know who can probably make a change? A team of Lily Ray, Joe Biden, and Beyonce.
Oh.
Ooh, the big three.
Get them on the case.